Icinga is an open-source computer system and network monitoring application. It was originally created as a fork of the Nagios system monitoring application in 2009. Icinga is attempting to get past perceived shortcomings in Nagios' development process, as well as adding new features such as a modern Web 2.0 style user interface, additional database connectors, and a REST API that lets administrators integrate numerous extensions without complicated modification of the Icinga core. The Icinga developers also seek to reflect community needs more closely and to integrate patches more quickly. The first stable version, 1.0, was released in December 2009, and the version counter had risen every couple of months as of January 2010. Icinga was included by Jeffrey Hammond of Forrester Research in a list of waxing open-source projects based on its rate of commits. The name Icinga is a Zulu word meaning it looks for, it browses, or it examines, and is pronounced with a click consonant. History: in May 2009, a group of developers from the Nagios community announced the fork Icinga, citing their dissatisfaction with the stagnant development of the Nagios software at the time and their desire to open its development to a broader base. In their first year, Icinga developers released separate versions of Core, API and Web, and celebrated their 10,000th download. In their second year, the Icinga project released unified and stable Core and Web. Added dual-stack IPv6/IPv4 support, optimized database connectivity and revamped the Icinga web user interface, integrating various community add-ons. The project achieved more than 70,000 downloads and grew to 23 team members. In their third year, Icinga celebrated their 100,000th download, integrated the Icinga API component into Icinga Web. Improved SLA reporting. Opened an official Freenode IRC group and extended the Icinga virtual appliances to the Debian, OpenSUSE and CentOS operating systems. In October 2012, the Icinga project released a technology preview of a core framework replacement and parallel development branch, Icinga 2. The developers expressed their intentions to rewrite the core to correct shortcomings such as complicated configuration and scalability limitations in large deployments. The project signposted plans to write the Icinga 2 core mainly in C++, design a new component loader architecture and remodel the process of executing monitoring checks. In June 2014, the Icinga project released the first stable release of Icinga 2. New features, for example an agent or API feature, are scheduled for later releases. Timeline of releases Features: due to its nature as a fork, Icinga offers Nagios unregistered trademark features with some additions such as optional reporting module with improved SLA accuracy, additional database connectors for PostgreSQL and Oracle, and distributed systems for redundant monitoring. Icinga also maintains configuration and plugin compatibility with Nagios, facilitating migration between the two monitoring software. Monitoring of network services, monitoring of host resources, monitoring of server components, simple plugin design that allows users to easily develop their own service checks, parallelized service checks, ability to define network host hierarchy using a OEP Euro hosts, allowing detection of indistinction between hosts that are down and those that are unreachable, ability to define event handlers to be run during service or host events for proactive problem resolution. Notification of contact persons when service or host problems occur and get resolved, escalation of alerts to other users or communication channels. Visualization and reporting two optional user interfaces for visualization of host and service status, network maps, reports, logs, etc. Icinga reporting module based on open-source Jasper reports for both Icinga Classic and Icinga Web user interfaces, template-based reports, report repository with varying access levels and automated report generation and distribution, optional extension for SLA reporting that distinguishes between critical events from planned and unplanned downtimes and acknowledgement periods, capacity utilization reporting, performance graphing via add-ons such as PNP for Nagios, Nagios Grapher and ngraph. Architecture. Icinga Core is written in C and has a modular architecture with standalone core, user interface and database on which users can integrate various add-ons and plugins. The latter communicate via Icinga Euro unregistered trademark S doctrine abstraction layer, REST and plug-in APIs are Euro that mediate between the external data and internal structures. This bundling of components allows users to distribute Icinga Euro unregistered trademark S system for redundant monitoring. It also offers users freedom to customize Icinga to suit their needs. Icinga Core the Icinga Core manages monitoring tasks, receiving check results from various plugins. It then communicates these results to the IDO-DB through the IDOMod interface and IDO2DB service daemon over SSL encrypted TCP sockets. Though both come packaged with the core, they are single-standing components, which can be separated to distribute the data and processes across multiple servers for distributed systems monitoring. The Icinga Classic user interface also comes packaged with Icinga Core and can be used as a substitute to the PHP-based Icinga web interface. Icinga 2 Icinga 2 manages monitoring tasks, running checks, sending alert notifications. The Icinga 2 features can be enabled on demand, be it default features such as the checker or notification component, or external interfaces compatible with Icinga 1X and its user interfaces, for example the IDO-DB. Icinga 2 ships a built-in cluster stack secured by SSL X509 certificates attempting to make distributed monitoring setups more easy. The configuration's syntax is different to Icinga Core 1X and Nagios and requires a migration on upgrade. Icinga's user interfaces Icinga offers two web interfaces for users to view monitoring results and send commands to the Icinga Core. Icinga Classic UI is based on the Nagios CGIs and retains its format. The Icinga project continues to add new features to this interface such as pagination, JSON output, and CSV export. This user interface comes packaged with the Icinga Core. Icinga Euro unregistered trademark S Classic UI is similar to the Nagios web interface, in that it sits in the same instance with the core, retrieving data through the cache and sending commands through pipe to the command files. Icinga Web is the Projector Euro unregistered trademark S Argavy and PHP-based, Web 2.0 inspired front-end that uses cronks to offer drag-and-drop customized dashboards. In contrast to the Icinga Classic UI, Icinga Web is a standalone piece of software. It communicates to the core, database and third-party add-ons through component layers, doctrine abstraction layer, REST API and command control interface. Both user interfaces present information on host and service status, history, notifications and status maps to show the health of a network in real time. Both also support IPv4 as well as IPv6 addresses. Icinga Web 2 is currently developed in parallel to Classic UI and Web and was announced during the Open Source Monitoring Conference in November 2013. Icinga Data Out Database The Icinga Data Out Database is a storage point for historical monitoring data for add-ons or the Icinga web interface to access. In contrast to its predecessor Nagios, Icinga supports PostgreSQL and Oracle databases in addition to MySQL. Icinga Reporting The Icinga project offers an optional Icinga reporting module based on the open-source Jasper reports. It can be integrated into both Icinga Classic and Icinga Web user interfaces. The module provides template-based reports that can be saved to a repository with varying access levels and automated report generation and distribution. Reports can also be viewed in both of Icinga Euro unregistered trademark S optional user interfaces. Icinga Mobile Icinga Mobile is a user interface for smartphones and tablet browsers that run on WebKit. These usually are available on iOS, Android, BlackBerry Tablet OS and Web OS. Based on JavaScript and Sencha Touch, Icinga Mobile is downloaded onto a server for access by authorized users via their mobile devices. Administration and updates can thus be made centrally, to automatically apply to all users of a computer network. Extended functionality Icinga is compatible with all plugins and the majority of add-ons written for Nagios, especially for users opting for the Icinga Classic UI. Popular add-ons to extend Icinga Euro unregistered trademark S functionality include performance graphing, configuration interfaces and tools, Nagios LCONF, business process monitoring, network visualization, Windows monitoring, SNMP trap monitoring. Large enterprise environments. Icinga has been successfully deployed in large and complex environments with thousands of hosts and services, in distributed and failover setups. The software Euro unregistered trademark S modular architecture with standalone core, web and IDODB facilitate distributed monitoring and distributed systems monitoring. Nagios Remote Plugin Executor is an Icinga-compatible agent that allows remote systems monitoring using scripts that are hosted on the remote systems. It allows for monitoring resources such as disk usage, system load or number of users currently logged in. Icinga periodically polls the agent on the remote system using the CheckNPE plugin. In setups using the optional Icinga Web User Interface, monitoring data from multiple Icinga Core instances can be displayed as long as each instance writes to the same IDODB. In this way, distributed monitoring is also simpler to administer. At a structural level, Icinga can have its various components split and scattered in a distributed setup. This distributed systems monitoring provides greater security and redundancy. If one component were to fail, another could take its place without disrupting the entire monitoring system. The software also offers a fine-grained authentication system whereby user access, notifications and views can be customized to the detail of server groups, servers and services per individual. See also: comparison of network monitoring systems. Nagios Euro, the original software that Icinga fork from, N2 or RD Euro, a Nagios add-on to record data in a round-robin database, Shinkana Euro, an Icinga-compatible replacement. References. External links: icinga.org, official website, dev.icinga.org, official development tracker and roadmap, docs.icinga.org, official documentation, wiki.icinga.org, official wiki, exchange.icinga.org, plugin and add-on repository to extend Icinga functionality, monitoring-portal.org, community forum for user support and discussion.